Meanwhile, the White House releasing this statement after Abrego Garcia's charges were unsealed, in part saying Abrego Garcia was never an innocent Maryland man. Abrego Garcia is an illegal alien terrorist, gang member, and human trafficker who has spent his entire life abusing innocent people, especially women and the most vulnerable. Reaction now from Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons. Mr. Director, thank you for being here. Your reaction to Abrego Garcia coming back now facing 2 counts of human smuggling.
Well, first, thanks, Griff, for having me. No, it's great. Very proud of the work the men and women of ICE, FBI, DOJ did in this investigation. You know, Homeland Security investigations from the get-go investigated this man for being an MS-13 terrorist gang member. And through that investigation, we've now seen these human trafficking charges come. And it's great to see the Department of Justice, Attorney General Bondi, the President take the action on this. You know, Secretary Noem said from the beginning that this man is a criminal. He's an MS-13 gang member, and we were going to seek justice and do that investigation. So now he's back in the United States, and he will face justice.
And can you confirm for us, Director Lyons, that there is a current deportation order for Abrego Garcia, meaning regardless of whether he's convicted or not, he will be deported?
Yes. So after his sentence, after he has his due process and these charges for human trafficking go forward, based on his conviction and the outcome of that case, he will be sent back and deported from the United States, and that judge's order will be affected.
So even if he's found not guilty of these charges, he's being deported somewhere?
Yeah, we will go ahead and effect that lawful judge's deportation order.
And would he be sent back to El Salvador, or would it have to go to another country?
We'll go ahead and cross that road when we get to it, but we are going to effect that deportation officer.
All right. You know, I want to turn now to the violence we saw playing out in Los Angeles. We saw protesters taking to the streets, clashing with police following a series of ICE arrests across the city. The mayor, Karen Bass, responding to those arrests in a letter to residents last night, saying in part, these tactics sow terror in our communities and disrupt basic principles of safety in our city. It makes people fearful to attend school, workplaces, houses of worship, community spaces, and so much more. After I learned of the reported immigration enforcement actions today, I went out to see for myself. I was on the ground speaking with families who have been impacted and community leaders. I told them that LA will always stand with them and stand for what's right. What's your reaction to the mayor who says she's not going to stand for this?
It's absolutely disgusting. I can't believe that an elected official would say that. She would block and stop lawful law enforcement officers from doing their job. And if she was on the ground yesterday, then she was there representing criminals. She was representing rapists, gang members, human traffickers. All they were arrested yesterday. 118 individuals were arrested. And then she called for the LA police not to assist us. So the worst thing in America is the fact that we had 40 ICE officers and Federal Protective Service officers inside a building trapped. So we're in a major U.S. city, and we have law enforcement officers trapped, surrounded by over 1,000 protesters, and the LAPD would not respond to help those officers in their time of need. Over 2 hours it took for them to come get there. And Mayor Bass blocked those law enforcement officers from coming and helping my officers and agents. It's absolutely disgusting and shouldn't happen in the United States.
And it comes on the heels, Director Lyons, of the San Diego City Councilman, Sean Elo Rivera, putting terrorists across a picture of some of your officers carrying out a raid, saying that the public should, quote, fight back. Are we headed on a dangerous trajectory here?
100%. I think we are. And it's this rhetoric of elected officials that are putting ICE officers and agents in danger every day. Secretary Noem has made it clear she was not going to stand for this. The president's administration is not going to stand for this. If you make threats against ICE officers or other federal law enforcement officers, you will be held accountable. Whether you're an elected official or you're someone on the street, if you have a criminal act and you threaten law enforcement officers, then we will take action against you.
You've also now got calls from everybody from Boston's Mayor Michelle Wu to now the House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries calling for unmasking, essentially doxing your agents and officers. Here's a little bit of what Jeffries had to say. Listen here.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified.
What does that do to to your officers and agents?
Well, that makes them afraid for themselves and their family. So ICE agents wouldn't have to wear masks if rhetoric that calls for them to be doxxed isn't out there. So in the beginning of our enforcement operations, you didn't see officers and agents masked. However, these radical groups, these people for the calling of the doxing of ICE agents, calling them Nazis, calling them terrorists, sparked so much protest and threats against ICE agents, including their officers and families. So now you've dragged officers' families and agents' families and their kids into a situation that's totally unsafe. ICE agents wouldn't have to wear those masks or hide their identity if people weren't putting them out in the public. And I can speak from experience. It happened to me in the last administration, and my family had to deal with protesters showing up at 3 o'clock in the morning, mass protesters from Antifa that came from another state to travel all the way to my house and terrorize my family. So I know exactly what the men and women of ICE go through every day, and it's dangerous.
What is the impact on a wife, on a spouse, on children? I
mean, your job should never go home with you, especially a job that's honorable and respected as being a law enforcement officer. It puts them in fear. A wife or a son or a daughter should not go to bed worried about if dad's job or mom's job is going to bring terrorists, mass terrorists, to their house to protest them, someplace that's supposed to be their sanctuary. Yet we have elected officials calling for that to happen to ICE agents and officers' families. It's disgusting.
I want to ask you, Director Lyons, you just had this week record arrest days. You had over 2,300 on one day, followed up a 2,200 arrest days. You're going after literally the worst of the worst criminals. But what keeps Todd Lyons up at night?
Honestly, what keeps me up at night is the fact of the men and women of ICE who I represent. We are going after some of the most dangerous, hardened criminals in the U.S., unknown people that came in under the last administration, more than 10 million that we don't know about. They're actual terrorists out there. And the safety of the men and women of ICE is my top priority, along with the safety of everyone in the United States. We just had an al-Qaeda member arrested in Philadelphia. That is the people that ICE is going after. So I'm very scared of the fact of the safety, not only of the men and women of the United States, but of the people of the United States, that these criminal actors can cause harm to, and the fact that politicians and elected officials won't let us do our duly sworn duty to get them out of our country.
Will you back down?
No. We're going to go full force. Secretary Noem and the president have now given us the ability to do our full law enforcement duty, what we signed up for, and that is to enforce immigration law and to protect the people of the United States. And the men and women of ICE won't back down. We're going to keep going, and we're going to keep doing our duty as we're sworn to do.
Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, thank you for taking time today, and we hope that you and your agents and officers will be safe.
Thanks, Griff. Appreciate it.
All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.